Hi there, welcome back to the No More Trauma Yoga Mental Health and Wellness Studio, where we practice yoga and Pilates for trauma recovery. My name is Tanya. I'm a trauma-informed yoga teacher, coach, wellness facilitator, and also teach Pilates as well. Today's Yin practice, we will be focusing on security and stability. There's been lots of conversations around that. And so I figured we go ahead and put that into practice. So I will meet you on your mat. Feel free to grab blocks, and you actually see my Pilates ball there. I didn't move it out of the way, but you won't need a Pilates ball. You'll just need blocks and a blanket if you have one of those as well. So see you on the mat. Okay, so yes, I'll place this here. We won't need that, but if it is your first time actually tuning in, you can also see my Pilates classes in the playlist there. So let's get started. I like to open up the practice with a meditation. You can stack the soles right underneath each other if you feel that's accessible for you. Remember, each pose is an invitation, so feel free at any point, it becomes too much or uncomfortable, which your pose should not be uncomfortable, but if you start to experience some discomfort, you can always ease out of it. But do remember your body, your mat. I always like to advocate that. So if for any reason your shoulders tend to round like mine, you can always take a block and gently place it underneath the tailbone. And we'll begin the practice with a meditation. So once you found a comfortable position, either the soles stacked on top of the thighs or stacked underneath the shins, whatever feels right for you. Gently bring your attention inward as you slightly tuck the chin and soften the gaze out in front of you. And we'll take 3 collective breaths together. So begin to inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, let it go. Beautiful, 2 more together. Inhale. And exhale. And last one, inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Perfect. Slowly start to come into the natural rhythm of the breath. And as we begin to center and ground, start to explore the emotions that showed up on the mat today. Is there any feelings of uncertainty, feelings of overwhelm, feelings of exhaustion, frustration, any sensitivity, vulnerability? Or maybe there's some excitement, some joy, some happiness. Maybe we just got some good news. Just exploring that. So exploring that in the body, on the mat. Just observing. Inhale. And exhale. And gently begin to explore the sensations in the body. Notice if there's any heaviness in the shoulders, the heart space. Any headache. Or maybe any tummy upset. And just seeing if you can send breath to that space. Inhale. And exhale. And gently start to explore what it feels like to be secure in the body. Notice if there's any emotions attached to a feeling. Maybe start to step outside of that expression or feeling sensation and just notice it. Inhale. Exhale. And we'll be here for a few more breaths. Perfect. Gently begin to bring your awareness back into the room, back into your body. Start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, and just gently start to bring the mantra to the front of the third eye that I am fully secure in my thoughts, my decisions, my mind. And on the next inhale, gently bring the shoulders up to the ears, maybe squeezing for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Gently begin to just shake out the wrist a bit. Just kind of let it go. Let any of that energy slowly float away. So we'll begin by warming up the spine. So before we do, if you have a block pillow underneath, gently reaching for that blocker pillow, placing it to the side, and we'll begin warming up the spine, taking some gentle spinal circles here. So on the inhale, begin to send the chest over to the right and to the front of the room, and over to the left, and to the back of the room. Beautiful way to release any stress or anxiety or any tension that may just be sitting in the spine, or maybe you sit for a very long time, or maybe there's a lot of standing. And so this can really massage the internal organs and just release anything that may be a little stagnant. And just start to go at the natural rhythm of your breath. I think this is one of the favorite movements when I'm teaching in studio. I can really see all of the students really just savoring and really enjoying the spinal circle. And go ahead and send your circle in the other direction if you haven't already. And remember to continue to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. We'll take one more trip around the moon. So good. Feeling that low spine. Just all of that tension, say like even in the hips, you can really feel that. All right. So coming into shoelace pose, you're going to allow the right shin to be parallel to the front of the mat, and maybe even the sole towards the left glute. Taking that left sole, seeing if you can stack it on top of that right knee. So automatically you may start to feel some sensation in that left hip, and if you say, you know what, Tanya, this is starting to become a little uncomfortable, you can take the, say for instance, right shin, you can extend it, right? And so when we come into half shoelace, so you'll still get that opening of that left hip, but that feels a little bit better. Okay, so, and maybe you're this is where you are, or maybe you're just hooking the sole around that right knee. Okay, so you should still start to feel some sensation there. Okay, so just notice where you are. Find a place that feels comfortable, right? Find a place that feels good for you. You can even take the block and allow the shin to just sit right into the front. So whatever feels right and comfortable for you, okay? And we'll be here for a few breaths. So we're working that IT band in the hips, working the abdomen, full sensations there. So just notice what you feel. Maybe you soften the gaze. And maybe on the next inhale, you begin to walk the hands forward as you begin to fold your shoelace. Right? So the palms come forward and you're folding into maybe on top of the top shin. So again, notice the sensations in the glute. We're taking some of that tension. Anytime we fold, we're taking tension off of the spine, off of that low spine, even stretching it out. Notice if you can go deeper. If that feels like you want to walk the hands out further, you can do that. But if that's not where you're called to be led today, and that's okay. You can stay where you are. Three more breaths. Beautiful. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. On the next inhalation, gently take the gaze towards the fingertips, slowly walking the hands back as you slowly come to rise. And go ahead and gently unhooking that left sole on top of the right. Option to extend the legs out. Whew, just noticing what that felt like. You can allow the toes to go right and left. You can extend, pedal out the feet. Whew, feel that, all that energy, all that goodness being released from the fascia tissue right in, say, that that outside hip, the psoas. So we'll go ahead and take it on the other side. So this time, that left sole is pointing towards that right glute, gently bringing that right sole. Maybe you're here, that is perfectly fine. And you get enough stretch right in that right hip. And then if you feel like you can extend that right sole towards the left glute, you can do that as well. And again, if you decided to extend the bottom leg towards the front of the room, you can do that as well. And once you found your place in your shoelace, you can stay where you are. So palms can either be resting in the front of the mat or out by your sides. Okay. Just taking a moment to go within, exploring if the right side feels different than the left. And I always find it interesting when one side is, say, tighter than the other. Like, for example, myself, my right side is always tighter. And yeah, my right side is always tighter. And so I find that interesting because the right side is the most creative side if we think about the brain. That's the creative side, and then left side is like logic. And so I put my creative side to work quite a bit, so that's why it's probably stiff. It's probably like, oh my goodness, you worked me to the bone. So just take a moment, just noticing the body, right? You know, oftentimes we have to learn and relearn what's happening within and around us, and so the body responds. So on the next inhale, gently deciding if you want to fold your shoelace, you can begin to walk the hands out in front of you. And notice if you're resisting, and just see if you can soften into the pose, right? So if you cannot resist your own body, just imagine what you can allow, what you can experience, right? What your body will actually do. So notice if you're resisting anything, any tension in the jaw, tension in the shoulders. And the more you extend breath, your body will respond into that pose that you're eventually trying to achieve. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more breaths here. Perfect. On the next inhale, gently lifting the gaze towards the fingertips, slowly walking the hands towards you as you slowly come to rise, and gently releasing that right sole from underneath, on top of that left. Extend the legs, pedaling out, and maybe rolling toes opposite directions. We'll meet on our spine. So gently, option to place a blanket underneath your tailbone. If you have a sensitive tailbone like myself, you can gently place the blanket. Okay. And once you made your way onto your back, you can gently inhale, bring both knees into chest, reaching for opposite elbows, swaying side to side, releasing any tension in the shoulders and the spine. Definitely a great pose for digestive challenges. If you have irritable bowel syndrome, or you get really intense anxiety, this is a great pose to come to, and just swaying side to side, giving yourself a nice 2-for-1 with a gentle massage. Perfect. Inhale. Maybe we lift the crown of the head, tucking chin into maybe lifting the crown, tucking the chin into the knees. And exhale, gently release. Extending both soles down to the earth. Okay. And extending the left leg long, we're going to bring the right knee back into chest, fingers clasping right at the shin or underneath the knee. And you can gently take some circles here, just releasing all of that tension. And we're in contact with the earth, so we're grounded, right? Creating a very firm, solid foundation. Asking yourself, what areas need a little bit more nourishment. Go ahead, reverse those circles, stay in contact with the breath. Inhale. Exhale. And go ahead, release that right palm. Allow the left palm to reach on the outside of that right knee. Gently glide it across the body over to the left side of the room. Taking the gaze over to the right side. So maybe the arm is out like a T, maybe cactus arms. Just noticing what you need. And you can always take a block, and if your blocks are right near you, you can always allow this right knee to rest on the block. If you feel as though your knee is floating, or you want a deeper twist into the spine, you can always allow it to rest on the block. And also just remember making sure that knee is in line with the hip. Perfect. On the next inhale, gently gliding that right shoulder back down to earth. Bringing it all the way back down to center. Just noticing what that felt like. Go ahead, extend that right sole. Just take a moment, just honoring how the right side body feels versus the left. Take 2 more breaths. All right, on the next inhale, gently bringing the left sole into the chest, reaching for the left shin with both fingertips interlaced underneath the knee. And this is Wind Release Pose. And whenever you're ready, you can start to take some circles with that knee. Just opening up the hip. This is also a nice hip opener. So if you're working on pigeon pose, or if you're just wanting to keep the hips healthy, then this is a great gentle movement here. And so reversing those circles, continue to breathe, staying in contact with the breath, coming back to that mantra. I am fully secure in my mind, my decisions, my body, on my mat. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe exploring with any unsettledness around the word security. Go ahead, take that right palm, place it on the outside edge, outside of that left knee. Gently gliding the left knee across the body as you take the gaze over to the left side. And again, option if you need a deeper twist, you want to place the block on the flattest side and gently allowing that left knee to rest onto the block. Making sure that knee is in line with the hip, so it should be a straight line. And really just wringing out anything in the spine. So anytime you do a twist on the mat, it's also re-energizing. So we're bringing some energy and vitality into the body, right? So maybe we feel depleted. Maybe we've been carrying a lot in our day, in our week, in our month, in our year, the past 3 years. And so we're wanting to invite some vitality back into our body, right? Some creativity, some ideas, some life. Maybe we just been feeling dull, flat, right? And so we come back to the foundation. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths here. Beautiful. On the next inhalation, gently sending the knee back to center and slowly extending the sole towards the top of the mat. Just take a moment to honor that feeling, sensation, noticing what was released. Perfect. So before you enter that yoga bliss of Shavasana, we'll take 1 more pose. Inhale, bring both knees into chest. And on the exhale, gently reaching for maybe the big toes or the outside ankles or inside ankles or outside edges of the soles as you draw the knees into the armpits towards the earth, okay? Make sure you're being gentle with yourself. This, again, is a nice hip opener. So we're also taking some tension out of the spine, giving that thoracic spine a nice massage. So option to sway side to side. And you can play around a bit. You can say extend the right leg long and extend the left leg long. So whatever you need here before we close out the practice. Just notice if the body's gotten softened, if it's softened into the pose, onto the mat. Just noticing any sensations may have softened. Exploring any sensations in the inside of the thighs, maybe the groin, maybe the pelvic floor. Inhale. Exhale. And maybe on the exhalation, maybe start to notice if the knees come closer to the earth. Right? So not forcing it, but just noticing if the body is resisting or if it's in the movement of flow. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath. Beautiful. Gently release the soles, the outside edge of the soles or the ankles or the toes. Go ahead, extend the arms overhead, extending the soles in the opposite direction for a final stretch. Exhale, gently release. And allowing the toes to fall outward. Bringing the palms down by your side. Beautiful practice if you're just having a really heavy day, a heavy week. Just want to let go of some different burdens or challenges. Or just really been feeling uneasy. Honoring that feeling, knowing that that feeling is normal, especially in the world that we live in. And so you can always invite some breath, some stability back into your life, your body, your mind. And just allowing the scalp to soften. Allowing the third eye to soften. Allowing the nasal cavity and the throat to soften. Allowing the shoulders to soften. So allowing the forearms, shoulders, wrists, and knuckles soften. So allowing the chest and the belly soften. The hips and the glutes soften. Slowing the quads, the knees soften. Letting the shins and the calves soften. Letting the ankles, the soles and the toes soften. Just allowing the body to become heavy. The muscles and the bones heavy. Allowing the skin to spread and soften. And on the next inhale, I gently invite you back into the room, back into your body. Beginning to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. And on the next inhale, gently reaching the arms up overhead. Extending the toes in the opposite direction. Excuse me. And whenever you're ready, gently bringing the soles into the earth as you roll onto your favorite side. And just coming back to that mantra. I am secure in my own thoughts, decisions, my mind, on my mat, in my body. To in this space of rebirth, inhale. And exhale, using the palms to place it into the earth as you slowly come to rise. Using the block or blanket or pillow to place underneath you if that's something you need. Thank you so much for joining me in today's lovely yin practice. Felt so good, and just that reminder to know that I am safe, I am secure in my decisions. All right, and it's okay to feel, uneasy, unnerved, uncertain of what the future looks like, whether it be in your personal life, your work life, your partnerships, your friendships, your business. And so if you need to recenter, just come back to that mantra or this practice. So I asked you to extend arms overhead. Exhale. Bring hands down, heart center. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice again. Remember to live abundantly, love your authenticity, and radiate organic happiness. But most importantly, live a life of no more trauma. Namaste. If you enjoyed this video, I ask that you like, share it, leave a comment about it. I would love to know what you wish to share and what your experience has been like. I absolutely love the work that I do, and I cannot wait to continue bringing more for you. So again, thank you. I'm oh so grateful for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you back on the mat. Bye.